Walking slowly on the path, as soon as the dome of the shrine came into view, my steps quickened. The shrine of which I am mentioning was spread over a very large area, in which its main building, which contained the grave of a nobleman, was short, but its enclosure was very large, which was made of red bricks. Some parts were completely rough, on which there were some dilapidated graves, which belonged to unknown people, and some parts were covered with old banyans, poplars, and unknown ancient trees. According to the people of our area, Mazar Sharif belonged to a very great saint. Childless couples used to pray for children, the vow which was usually fulfilled, then the number of those who offered offerings would stop. When Koti asked for her daughter's marriage vows, she would come to fulfill the bride's vows even in a formal wedding dress. But the specialty that Mazrapani was most famous for was the healing of demon-possessed people. People from far and wide used to come to Mazar-e-Sharif for the treatment of their devil-affected sons and daughters and stay here and return with their perfectly healthy patients. In the shrine premises, I had repeatedly seen with my own eyes young, injured, boys, girls doing stunts in a way that no normal person could do. According to my mother, Saheb Mazar used to punish the Badura by climbing on top of the demon-possessed person in such a way that he would leave the sick person and go away. Sometimes in the scorching hot sun, bare feet upside down, that is, with the feet up and the boy on the hands. The girls walked as fast as a stunt performer. Those who came with them sat aside and watched this spectacle with deeply worried faces. We, i.e. me and some of my friends, were quite young at that time. For us, these scenes were extremely attractive. Many a times a young demon-possessed boy or girl will keep repeating, "I won't go, I won't go." My father was very much against these things. He was strongly opposed to visiting shrines, making vows, offering sacrifices. They also did not believe in demons. All these are types of mental illnesses. He also did not like me or my mother to ever go to the shrine. But the shrine was right on the way to my college. Visiting the college premises was a must. And my fascination with the demon-possessed youths in the premises, which even a great prankster would find difficult, was obvious. One such day when I was returning from college, I saw him. She was sitting outside the compound outside the shrine where the brick floor ended and the crumbly earth began. Although a dupatta was draped over her head and wrapped around her well, it could be guessed that she was quite a young girl. He had his palms together. Most of the face was hidden in the dupatta, but the part that was visible was extremely fair and beautiful. After coming home, Mazar-e-Sharif and that girl sitting on it completely lost her mind. But the next morning when I was going to college, suddenly my eyes fell on him again. She was similarly seated on the ground in the shrine compound. At that time his face was completely open. Oh my God, I have never seen such a beautiful face. My feet felt as if the earth had seized them. I stood there for a long time but he did not look at me. On my way back from college, my pulse started to quicken as I approached the shrine. I wish he could be seen. I prayed from my heart, but at that time my prayer was not accepted. The premises were almost empty. Eka Dukka Mwali type people were lying on the brick floor, but the girl was nowhere to be found. I was disappointed. For some time my eyes kept looking for him and he went home. The second day was a college holiday. On the third day, when I was going to college, when I reached near the shrine, I looked inside and the compound was completely empty. My heart sank. So did that girl come with one of her patients and now she went back? I thought. Sadness came over me. On that day, my heart was not even interested in studying. On my way back I peeked into the shrine compound with vague hope. And my heart started beating faster. She was standing in front. The dupatta was draped over her head. Her hair was falling out of her chutiya and falling on her beautiful face. She was so beautiful that I even forgot where I was standing. At that moment he raised his eyes and looked at me. Oh, her eyes, deep black but so sad, maybe the person she came with is very sick. I thought. As I said in the beginning, people used to come to this shrine from far and wide with their patients, and for those who could not come daily, they stayed here. On which such people used to spend their nights. And spent the whole day at the shrine. Food was not a problem because of the daily langar at the shrine. That girl might have come here from a distant city. That's why she was staying here for 3 or 4 days. After looking at each other for a few moments, we both looked away. I started walking towards the house with fast steps. My heart was beating faster than my feet. This girl, I think I have fallen in love with him. I did not sleep that night. The next day I started getting ready for college early, but luckily there was such a downpour that the college was closed. I was leaving the house even in the heavy rain, but my poor friend called and informed me that the college was closed, and my father also answered the call. So at that time there was no question of leaving the house. It was raining that it was not stopping. And I was in a bad mood. Otherwise, the girl should go back to her home. I will never be able to see him, I will never be able to talk to him. No, whatever, I have to talk to him. If you can find out, you have to get the phone number. I made up my mind. By evening, my patience paid off and I came out of the house with heavy feet. Heavy rain since morning had now turned into drizzle. But due to severe cold and cold winds, the roads were deserted. I crossed the path with quick steps. The shrine was almost in darkness. Due to the light, a few counting lamps were burning, otherwise it was so bright that it felt like day even at night. I looked inside. The raw land was muddy due to rainwater. The red brick floor was empty far away. My heart sank as I went towards the back of the shrine as a hope, where there were cots for people coming from far away in the main field. The field was completely empty. Cots were erected against the wall. Even today, no one was visible. My heart wanted to cry. So it's like she's gone. She went back and I could not meet her or talk to her. I was sick with grief. I started to leave the shrine with dead feet and my eyes fell on the building of Mazar Sharif. The main building, which housed the tomb of Sharif. A desire arose in my heart, let's read Fatiha today. I climbed the stairs and opened the small porch and entered inside the shrine. It was also completely empty. I raised my hands for Fatiha. And a scream so terrible came out of my mouth that I felt that my heart would burst after reciting the Fatiha and turning my hand to my face when my eyes suddenly fell up in the middle of the shrine, right above the grave, with the roof, yes, with the roof. The girl was hanging upside down. His open hair was reaching down to the ground. His eyes, yes, those eyes that met me that day, I fell in love with him. As it was bleeding today. Today, his handsome face was the face of a regular demon. Her hands were clasped together as if apologizing. I ran out, screaming like a madman. I don't know how he reached home and fainted. My family told me that I had a high fever. And I used to talk a lot. I don't know how many days I was able to recover. And I started going to college again. Yes, but there is one thing. I never looked up at the shrine again as I passed by.